Hey everyone, this is Johnny and welcome to my presentation. And this is Success, how to start and scale your business, any business, from zero to $100,000 a year in net profit or more. So this is actually a practice presentation for my Nomad Coffee Club talk in Chiang Mai. So I wanted to record this not only to see how long it's going to take, but also to be able to share it with all of you who can't make it to Chiang Mai. So here we go. So why $100,000? Why six figures? You always hear this, six-figure profit, six-figure income, six-figure businesses. Why does that matter? And it's because it opens a lot of doors. It's one of those kind of magic numbers. When you're making $100,000 a year in net profit, it is way more than most people in the world. It's not as much as some doctors or some CEOs in the world, but just in general, it's a big enough number where regardless if you live in an expensive place like California or New York, or if you live in a much cheaper place like Thailand, it can still kind of get you ahead. It's kind of the big first step to being really impactful in the world. And it doesn't have to be just for you. This is something that really opens doors for passion projects. If you're making $100,000 a year, you'll probably have more money and kind of financial or tax reasons to donate money or donate your time, and you'll have the ability to do so. So it really is that magic number where not only does it get you a lot of respect in the business world, to be honest, but also it's a nice figure to hit because it allows you to do so much more. And it's not really just buying things, right? So obviously I can buy new computers or the latest iPhone with that, but really it's gotten me a lot of travel and experiences and adventures. Going to climb in the Himalayas in Nepal has taught me a lot about myself and the world. But it's not just about me. I've been able to use that money to pay for my parents' property tax for the last 4 years, as well as give my parents $1,000 a month to help with their retirement. And altogether, it's been over $40,000, which is money I wouldn't have been able to give them if I was barely getting by making $40,000 a year. I really need to have that big six-figure income to be able to afford to not just take care of myself, but to give that money and help others as well. It's also allowed me to work on a lot of passion projects, things that I really believe in that I enjoy doing, but also I think will make a big impact, to other people, who are struggling, trying to figure out what they want to do in life, what makes them happy. And the Nomad Summit has been a passion project now for the last couple of years. It's been 5 years now, and most years we don't make any money. This last event in Las Vegas, I spent 4 months working on the Nomad Summit because I knew how much it would benefit people in the US and Canada to be able to go, because not everybody can fly all the way out to Chiang Mai, Thailand for the main event. And in 4 months, we made $191. So obviously we didn't do it for the money, but I wouldn't have been able to even do that or risk losing money, which we were actually losing, like literally losing money. When I say we, I mean I was losing money because it was on my credit card. I was on the hook for this non-refundable deposit, and if we didn't hit our numbers, we would have literally lost money. So these are things that if you're struggling and you're not making enough to get by, you don't have enough in savings, you don't have income coming in, you can't spend that. Even if you believe in the project is something really great. And I'm sure a lot of you, watching this right now, you have really kind of world-changing projects. Maybe they're way bigger and you want to work on it, but you just can't because you don't have the time and the money for it. But this is what money buys. And from a kind of a personal point of view, it's allowed me to go to the Tony Robbins conference last year, the Date with Destiny, which really helped me figure out who I am. It helped me figure out my insecurities, why I acted like such a douchebag when I was in my 20s, and obviously honestly just makes me like a better person, and I really think that if everyone went to a Tony Robbins event and worked on themselves, the world would be a better place. We would all be happier and healthier. We would treat each other better. We would, kind of live with more love and compassion, or at least understand why we do the things we do. So these are some things that money has bought. And this is why I think it's so important for us to be able to have money to be able to do the things we want. So remember, money itself doesn't necessarily make you happier, especially if you spend it on the wrong things. An unhappy person having money is just going to amplify that. It's not going to make them any happier. But if you spend on the right things, it can make you and everyone around you much, much happier. So I'm going to break up this presentation into two sections. The first part is starting. So if you guys are just starting a new business, or you're starting your first location independent business, or it's not really making that much money yet, we're going to start with that. And then the second half presentation is how to scale that business, or really any business, to $100,000 or more in net profit per year. And the reason why we're starting with zero is if you scale something that's not working or something that's not making money, it doesn't matter how much you scale it up, it's still going to be zero. If you have a dropshipping store that's making $0 and you scale it up and you want to use all these advanced techniques, it's still going to be $0. So that's the reason why we have to start here, even if you think that you want to just jump to the big parts. So let's take a look at the number one digital nomad problem of 2018. When I first read the 4-Hour Work Week, my biggest problem was there wasn't that much information. There was literally Tim Ferriss's book. I had no access to him. I couldn't just email him. I couldn't come to his talk. And that was it. I was like, okay, I had this book. Let me figure it out. So I'm going to be sharing with you what I figured out for myself and the steps I took. It might not be exactly the same path that you took, but I want to use it as an example because I know this is what has worked. And in 2018, the problem is almost the opposite, where there's so much information. I bet you everyone here has heard of 20 or 50 different types of business ideas or methods, and I bet you might even have 3 or 5 things that you're juggling or thinking about doing. I'm actually just curious, is anyone here in their mind have 3 or more projects that they're like, yeah, I want to do all these things? Stop doing that. I promise you have to just go one by one. All right, so I'm going to show you kind of all the businesses that I've done, starting with my random blogs that I've always had. I've always blogged about my college life, trying to figure out, how to date, my Muay Thai life, and it's never really made me that much money. I mean, I think people think that because I've been blogging for so long that I was always making a lot of money from it, but just to be completely honest, I probably never made more than $25 in a month with any of my blogs until recently, and I'll talk about why. But this is an example of one of my blogs that is still up, actually. Everything else I let expired because it was such an old part of my life that, first off, most of the things on there were super embarrassing, and I don't really want the whole world seeing it still. But second, it's just not me anymore, so I just kind of let them lapse. I didn't pay the $10 to renew the domains. But my Muay Thai blog is still up, so if you want to read it, it's myfightcamp.com. And I made, I still make some money from it, from AdSense, from some affiliate deals, and I would get a lot of free stuff. So like a lot of, Instagram travel bloggers, I would get free things for writing about gyms on my blog. So I can go to different Muay Thai gyms or MMA gyms really around the world and be able to train for free in return of writing a review, creating a video, things like that. So it was fun, but never really made me any money. And I spent a lot of time doing it, like many years. My first real business I actually started making a couple $100s a month from was when I packaged that blog, or at least everything that I've learned during that experience, into a book. The book was called 12 Weeks in Thailand, The Good Life on the Cheap. You can still get it on Amazon today. And it's actually still a really good book, especially if you're interested in Muay Thai or scuba diving or just living very cheaply in Thailand. So I basically started it as a PDF download with something called eJunkie, just because it was the cheapest way to sell PDFs online. And then I moved to Kindle publishing. And the best month I ever had, the first month, I made $600, probably because I had a big list of people that I never sold anything to. I just gave them free information on my blog. So when it came out, everyone bought it. Then it dropped down about $200, but it took me about 2 months to write the book, another month to really publish it and market it. And till this day, I still make, a couple $100 a month from the book. So it's a nice, source of online income. The business that really replaced my 9-to-5 income, not just making a couple $100 here and there, but made me enough money to, live in Thailand permanently, but also be able to travel and go back to the US. Really kind of what replaced my US income was my first dropshipping store. And I know a lot of people, hear the term nowadays. Most people probably think it's, small products from AliExpress, like, cheap products, free plus shipping, you sell on Facebook or on Instagram, ship it from China. But I actually follow a different method where we would sell big, large physical products. things like this, like things like these couches. This is actually one of my competitors' sites. And I would build it on Shopify. I would use all US suppliers. They're all big, heavy, expensive products, $500 end up products in general. And it took me about 2 months to kind of learn everything. I took a course and then build the site, get suppliers. And within, 3 or 4 months, I had, $2,000 to $5,000 in profit. I think my best month ever, I had a month where I did 7,500 in profit, and then I had some months where I did 1,000, but just on average 2,000 to 5,000. So really randomly, I also did Udemy courses, and the reason why I'm sharing all these is just to give you ideas of different models that all made a couple of $1,000s, so you can kind of figure out how I scaled these up to the $100,000 range. So with Udemy, the reason why I started this, even after I was making a lot more dropshipping course, is I was dating a girl here in Chiang Mai at the time. Some of you might know her, Larissa. She was an English teacher, and we wanted to travel, but she couldn't, get that much time off of work, and she didn't have the money for it. So, we decided, hey, let's start a business together, or let's have her do an online business so she can be a digital nomad, she can be location dependent. And instead of jumping straight into dropshipping, which is it was a little bit more tech heavy, I said, you know what? Why don't we try this new thing called Udemy? And I don't know anyone who's done it, but maybe it'll work. And it doesn't take that much, technical skill. All we need is a webcam, a microphone, and a screen record software, which we had on my MacBook Air already. So I was like, all right, let's try it. So we tried making a course called Small Talk Networking: How to Talk to Anyone, and it was because I spent many years super insecure trying to learn how to talk to girls or how to talk to anyone really. And even though a lot of things I learned were super cheesy, a lot of things really worked, body language, eye contact, confidence. And she was super into psychology. That's what she studied in school. And we thought, you know what, this would really help people who are socially awkward and just don't know how to network or talk to people. So let's create this course together. And that was our first course we ever made together. And I've actually not, shown this too often, but this is my dashboard. These are all my courses on Udemy, and you can see how much I've earned, this month so far, or how much I've earned in total. And in general, each course took about 2 months to make, to write, to record, to market and upload. And you can see most of them had made at least a couple $100 or a couple $1,000. And I actually want to dive in a little bit deeper into Udemy, because it's one of those things a lot of people kind of just brush by. They're like, oh, these $10 courses, $20 courses, it's not a big deal. It's not a lot of money, but it's actually added up to quite a bit. It's actually added up to almost $20,000 in my pocket from having this course. So it's actually like a kind of a cool thing to do. And I'm going to explain later how you can scale things like this up where it can be a lot more. So not only is it nice kind of online passive income, a couple $100 a month, but it actually could be, something much bigger where you can make a lot more money from in the future. All right. So my fifth business, after we kind of proved that we could do, we could work together without killing each other, and she learned some tech skills and kind of the basics of online business and marketing. We started another dropshipping store. We split this one 50-50. We ran it for, the whole time we were together for a couple of years. And on average, we would make between $2,000 and $4,000 a month of profit. And we actually ended up selling that store for $57,000, which we split. And it was kind of like a nice payday for both of us. I actually live blogged about the whole thing. I call it the New Store Challenge on my blog if anyone wants to go back and kind of see what we did. And this is how it all kind of came together. So my best year of being, I don't want to call it being a digital nomad because that's not really a job, but being an entrepreneur or building online businesses while living and traveling as a digital nomad, I made quite a bit of money that year. I made over $325,000 in profit in 1 year, which has really set me up for now where I can work on passion projects. I can work on things that don't necessarily make money today, but are things that I'm passionate about that, may pay off in the future. So this is what I would advise to everyone. If you guys are if you have a budget, or you know that you have to start making money within a few months, or you're gonna have to go home, don't work on something that has a very small chance of working right away. So I want to break it down kind of to the things that will definitely work in 1 to 3 months, as long as you actually put, the effort into it. If you follow a method that works, if you follow a mentor or a course, or, a partner or someone who has done it before. And these are things are like book publishing, whether it's Kindle or on your own, any type of e-commerce or drop shipping, as long as it's a good product that people want to buy. Amazon FBA, new Amazon merch, arbitrage through eBay or AliExpress, courses like Udemy or online courses, freelancing, service businesses, gigs, being a designer, doing copywriting, being a developer. These are things that, as long as you have a good product and you price it fairly, there's zero reason why you can't make it work in the next month or even 3 months. But there are things that may take much longer, may work in 4 to 12 months. And these are things like blogging, or affiliate marketing, or creating content, YouTube videos, creating a podcast, building up a conference, building up a brand, or becoming a coach, investing into things, or creating a startup. It doesn't mean these things aren't viable, because obviously people do make money from these, but it is not guaranteed that it'll ever take off. And if it does, it'll probably take a lot longer than 1 to 3 months. So these are not things that you want to start working on as your first business if you need to start making money, next month. So choose a time frame. What I personally did, the reason why I went through my whole story is, you can see I first did the 1 to 3 months, had some money coming in, and then on the side I would work on the kind of longer time frame businesses, which ended up paying it off for me, but it took a lot longer. It literally took years sometimes. So just gonna give an update as well as where I'm now. I haven't really been working. I sold my last dropshipping store about a year ago. So now I'm kind of just living off of some passive income. I still have money coming in from all the things I've done before. I still had a couple partner stores for dropshipping, and recently that sold for actually $44,000, but I only owned a quarter of it, so I got $11,000 from that. And then I have a lot of investments. So all the money I made, that $325,000 I made, I was really smart. I didn't blow it all by going crazy, which I know a lot of people do. I invested 75% of it. And what that's allowed me to do is, if you guys have read Rich Dad Poor Dad, the fourth quadrant is having your money make you money. That is the ultimate form of passive income. And now, because of that, I make $5,000 a month or more, really not really running any real business anymore, not running any stores, even though I am building some more. I'm planning to starting, pretty soon. But all these things didn't come overnight. Now I can focus on passion projects. I can focus on hopefully finally getting my blue belt in jiu-jitsu. I can focus on, creating the next Nomad Summit. Even though it's a big gamble to put on these large events, I can focus on my podcast. I can focus on things I really enjoy doing. And I can focus on kind of helping other people get started as well. So that is where I'm at. If you guys haven't started yet and you're trying to look for an idea of what to start, listen to my podcast. I started it because I wanted to be able to share the conversations I've had with the successful people that I've met while traveling. And now we've done over 207 episodes. And what's really cool is, aside from the business models that I just listed that I've done personally, there are so many other ones that people will do. And there's probably 100 different types of business models. And these are people who are successful, who have done it before. So if you don't know where to start, or you don't know what fits you, or you're like, I don't know if, Udemy's for me, or I don't know if Dropshipping's for me, listen to the podcast and find something that does resonate with you. Because I guarantee there's something there that will resonate with you, that you can do, and you can, basically get started for free, because the podcast is free. So just choose something, get started, and focus. Okay, so why did we just spend all that time when your goal isn't to make a couple $1,000s a month, it's to make 100,000? And it's because if you don't have something making you a couple $1,000 a month, you can't scale it up to anything. Like, it just doesn't work that way. It's, a million times zero is still zero. So we really have to start somewhere. And this is where we start, going from making enough money for ourselves to live cheaply in Thailand just on our own, to making enough money where we can make an impact on the world, with our families, with our friends, with our businesses and our passion projects. So if you already have a business, if you already have a skill, just focus on that and nothing else. What I would do is, once something has started to make money, spend the next 2 or 3 months really just in growth mode, where you kind of just building that up to as big as possible. You're getting your revenue up as high as possible. You're optimizing, and I'm going to go into a couple examples in the next slide so you understand what I'm talking about. And then I'll spend a few months, either automating, using software, trying to get yourself out of the business, or hiring people to get yourself out as well. And this is where the multiple streams come in. So instead of me, it seems like I had a lot of businesses, but I didn't start all of them at once. I started one, finished it, grew it, automated it, hired it, took a break, and then started another. And that's how I've been able to add so many streams of income without overwhelming myself, or not, having a bunch of half-open projects that don't finish. Because I know this is a problem that a lot of people have is, and tell me if any of you guys are guilty of this. You get excited about something, you start it, but before it actually starts making money, you move on to something else. Is anyone here guilty of that? Anyone watching at home guilty of that? Yeah, it sucks. Don't do that. You have to go all the way through, because I know it's exciting in the beginning, but you have to grind it out until it's done. Then you can move on to the next one. So I'm going to use dropshipping as an example, because this is the business that I'm most familiar with myself. And then we're going to use some of your businesses as examples as well, and how to do the same thing. So for dropshipping, you might look and say, well, if your average monthly profit was only $2,000 a month, how do you make $100,000 a year from that? The math doesn't add up. $2,000 a month is like 30 grand a year. And it's because this is where you start scaling. So how can you, like, if you had a dropshipping store right now making $2 grand a month, how could you increase it by $700, which really isn't that hard to do, right? A couple things you can do is you can add more products. You can get another supplier. You can expand your store into a side niche, right? For example, if you're selling patio furniture, maybe you start selling barbecue grills along with it. You can start a second store that technically doubles your income stream. Instead of just having a patio furniture store, now you also have a store selling, I don't know, like rooftop furniture or something. Or that's probably too similar, but you have another niche that has nothing to do with your original one, and that way you can double your stores and double your income stream. Another thing you can do is you can increase your conversion rates. So if you have a 1% conversion rate, that means 1 out of every 100 people who clicks on your ad or comes to your website, they will buy something. If you can increase that to 2%, which really isn't that difficult to do, it doesn't just double your profit. It actually 3x's it. And that's because you're spending the same amount of money on advertising, but you're making double the revenue, which means your costs remain the same, but your profit goes up. And it's a really cool kind of way to look at it is by simply increasing conversion rate from 1% to 2%, you end up making a lot more money from it, rather than just having twice as many visitors. If anything, that'll actually cost you more, because trying to scale up your amount of traffic while keeping your conversion rate low, normally you end up spending more money on those visitors. Other things you can do is you can offer upsells, subscriptions, or add-ons, or you can start selling your knowledge from it. You're like, okay, well, I figured out how to do this. I'm sure people who are starting out would love to learn, so you can sell your knowledge on the courses. You can do coaching, you can do consulting, you can create a partnership where you take a cut for helping people out. And one of my favorite ways to get, a big chunk of money is to sell your store. So after you've ran it for a year or more, there are a lot of people who love buying stores. If you go to empireflippers.com, they will, list your business. They'll vet it to make sure all the numbers are right, and then they'll list it. And we actually just sold one of our dropshipping stores a few months ago for 26x monthly profit. The other 2 stores I sold for 27x. So it's a really cool way to take something that's making $2,000 a month to, let's say, $2,700 a month, whatever it is, 27, 2,000 times 12. Now you're making 32,000, and then you add in the store sale, which is at 2,700. It's a big difference. It's crazy where not only are you making the profit from running the store for that year, now you're also making the sale of the store. And if you did that in 1 year, that is literally $100,000. It sounds a bit crazy, but if you sit down and do the math, it works out that way. And this is why I'm starting a bunch of new stores next month with a bunch of partners again, because my goal is to be able to build a bunch of stores, have my partners run it, and then flip these stores again after a year. So not only do we collect the monthly profit, which in this example, might be $2,700 per month, and then end of the year we've collected 32 grand, which is nice, but it's not life changing. But then we sell the store after 12 months as well, and we get another 72,000, which means that 1 year of work, we've now made $105,000. So that is one great example with dropshipping. What I mentioned, one of the real kind of super hacks for why it's so cool to have that $100,000 up front. And people ask me, like, Johnny, like, why did you sell the store if it's doing well? Why not just keep collecting $2,000 a month? And a big part of it is when you invest that money, it is completely hands off. If you invest in something like a low fee index fund, like a Vanguard fund, on average, you make 8% a year. For mine, it's been 10% a year with even the ups and downs. And this is the ultimate form of passive income. This literally allows you to just not work, not think about it, and you still have your money earn you money. This is what Robert Kiyosaki and Rich Dad Poor Dad talked about. And this is what I would love everyone to either aim for or start doing, is start having the ultimate source of passive income. Most passive income isn't really passive because you're working for it. Investing is really the only thing that is completely passive. So what I've done is I've literally put all of my money, I put $168,000 that I made from running and selling my dropshipping stores completely into Vanguard. I basically put 100% of it in. I lived off the money that I made from other sources. And in the last couple of years, that has grown by $52,000. So it's like it's almost like, that's like a good salary for a year, which basically means I had someone working a full-time job for me, making a $52,000 salary and just giving it to me just because I invested this money instead of spending it. So if you want to know more about how I invest and different kind of platforms and vehicles for that, I have a podcast I've done with Sam Marks, who's also I met here in Chiang Mai. It's called Invest Like a Boss. It's free as well, so check that out. So now I want to hear some of your examples. So I know here on YouTube it's going to be a little bit harder, but I'll kind of think of a couple of ideas that might come up. And if I didn't go over something and you have a different one, feel free to ask in the comments below, and I'm happy to help you there afterwards. So let's say your business is Amazon FBA, which is a bit different, right? It's a private label product. What can you do? So in every business, it's kind of similar, where the ways that you increase revenue is you just either side sell or upsell. You have more products, or you have more traffic. So for example, in the case of Amazon, if you have a accessory item that you can upsell with it, or you can do a package deal, instead of just selling one product for $30, you now have a package for $35, but it comes with that and an accessory. Now your revenue goes up by $5, even though that side product might only cost you $1. You can add more items, so you can have more to your kind of fleet in your lineup, or you can just create more traffic. So you can rank better in Amazon. You can start running ads. So the other part for every business, regardless of what it is increasing the profit. So that's where we talk about better conversion rates. So what can you do for Amazon FBA? For example, better copy, better titles, better photos, better videos, more reviews, just ways where more people that land on your product page buy. And Amazon actually has really good conversion rates already, but you can increase even better. Another thing you could do is decrease expenses. So you can find another supplier to lower it. You can order things in bigger bulk. You can find ways to just make the actual products cheaper. You can tailor your ads so you're not spending as much on ad spend, or ironically, if you have a better conversion rate, you'll probably spend less on ads anyways, just because they're better quality ads. And another thing you can do is you can start selling kind of zero cost items along with it. So like coaching, if you have a great FBA product, I'm sure there's people who would love to pay you $175 an hour or whatever it is, because you've proven it, you've done it yourself to help them with their business. And with really any of these businesses, if you sell the store or you sell your FBA product, you can get between 20 and 30% of the value of it as well. So just like a dropshipping store, or you can partner as well. You can start new. I'm sure your friends and family seeing that you're doing well, they see your product, they see that you're crushing it, you're making money. They're like, wow, I want to do this as well. Why don't you help them get started as well? And you take a cut, and you guys can go in another business. You might even put in half the money yourself, but they run it day to day, or however you guys want to do it. That's a great way to scale up that business as well. So if you have any other businesses that that maybe it's a little bit different, but just to give everyone an idea, let's say you're a designer, all right? What can you do? So let's say right now you're making logos for pretty cheap, $30 or whatever it is, right? You could upsell. You could say, do you want more designs? It's gonna be another $20. I'll give you 5 designs instead of 2. You can say, do you want me to create it in not just like your normal logo? I can do all your social media covers. I can do animation for video, and whatever it is, you could just upsell more products, more examples. And you can also just have more items in general. So instead of just focusing on logos, you can create, different things like artistic logos in feminine fashion, or you can create like, gold and boss logos or whatever it is. And instead of just logos, you can start looking into designing websites, designing packaging, whatever it is. More traffic, SEO, start posting in forums. Don't just list on Upwork, also list on Fiverr and other places. Increasing profit. What's nice is for service businesses or like design, there's no hard cost usually. But if you can create increase your conversion rates, you have better copywriting, better sales closing, or you just kind of sell more to each client, so your average client value becomes higher. That's when you really can scale it up to make more money. And with the replication, a lot of people don't realize this, but once you are good enough, people will want to go through you, and you might not have the time to help everyone with their individual product. That's when you become a product manager, a project manager. You have designers under you that might do most of the work, but you give them kind of the overview, you coach them, you approve or disapprove products, so that way the quality of work is still high, and you take a cut. So this is how you build an industry. Instead of just having you be a solopreneur or just a one-person shop, you now have an agency, and this is how you make money. And this is the same thing whether you're a programmer, whether you're in any other kind of service businesses. This is how you can scale up from making a couple $1,000s a month to making $10,000 and $20,000 a month or more to hit the 100K mark. So I hope that helped. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. I hope you got a lot of value from it. If you want to follow my blog, it's johnnyft.com. I'm pretty transparent about everything I do. I post all my income reports, also everything I'm just working on. My YouTube channel has a ton of more content kind of like this. Go to youtube.com/johnnyfd and listen to those 2 podcasts, Travel Like a Boss and Invest Like a Boss. They're free. There's a ton of good information in there. Subscribe on your phone or wherever you guys hang out. And if you guys want to download these slides, go to nomadsummit.com/successpdf. If you want, you can take a photo of this watching this live so you can remember that the URL. And for those on YouTube watching right now, it'll be in the description below so you guys can download the slides. And it's time to scale up. So if you guys want to learn more, we have a huge conference in Chiang Mai every January. This is going to be our 5th year now. Wow. And every year it gets bigger. This year we're expecting 500 people. And we actually just secured the location. We didn't even announce it yet, but we were doing a huge upgrade. We were like, what is the biggest, most nicest venue, nicest hotel? What's like the best 5-star hotel in Chiang Mai that can hold the most amount of people? And it's the Shangri-La. So we've booked it. We're really excited. We're just updating our website now, so prices for tickets will go up. But you can get your pre-sale tickets right now at nomadsummit.com. And because you guys are part of the Nomad Coffee Club and you guys are watching this presentation, we're giving you a 15% off discount for a limited time. Use code DNCC during checkout to get 15% off any ticket, which means right now, because the pre-sale tickets are super cheap, you get 15% off that. And as they go up, you'll get 15% off the higher tickets. So take a photo of this so you guys can remember the coupon code. But that's going to be January 18th through the 21st in Chiang Mai. And for all of you watching on YouTube, I would love to meet all of you guys and gals out in Chiang Mai, Thailand. You're going to love it. It's going to be super fun. And right after, make sure you stay a week after because we're going to go down to the islands as well. We're going to have an island trip on one of the beautiful Thai islands. We're going to go scuba diving. We're going to do beach stuff. It's going to be super cool. So this is the goal for everyone to scale up to 6 figures and more and celebrate by the Nomad Summit or at the Nomad Summit. The talks there, if you like this talk, you're going to love the talks there. They're going to be like this, but super well prepared with workshops to be able to really help you guys scale up your businesses and get to that next level. Because honestly, when you're in a room full of people who all paid for an event and they're all like-minded, but they want to scale up their business, they're serious about it, and they're not just dabbing into it. It's a whole new ball game. I promise you that the network that you're going to meet there, the people you're going to meet there, the speakers that come out for it are so good. It's going to be worth every penny. And that's it. So thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this presentation. And let me know in the comments if there's anything. Thanks for letting me practice with you guys on YouTube, but it's also a great way for you to get the information even if you're not out in Chiang Mai. But trust me, Chiang Mai is awesome. You'd really like it. So come out to Chiang Mai for the Nomad Summit. Just come now because December is really beautiful. January is amazing. And those are the best months in Thailand. So hopefully see you guys in Chiang Mai for the Nomad Summit. Bye-bye.